Welcome to the 245 podcast, which is the number of minutes that Josh was here today. Joey, right?
He was.
You were here. You were with him longer.
I was with him the longest.
I was with him for approximately 20 minutes.
I was with him for approximately 245 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't see him at all.
I'm sorry about that.
Sorry, he wasn't supposed to talk yet.
Yeah.
We'll tell you when you can talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Just sit there. Just sit there and be quiet. We'll warm up the guests so they're more welcoming for you. Okay.
Yep.
You told me there were no rules.
That is true.
That is true. That is true. There is one rule, and that's
my
wait
bad.
till we're done talking.
Perfect.
And then we'll
Broke the only
introduce
rule
you.
there is.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Right now we're talking about Josh.
Yep. Different J name.
Yes. But I went to a track meet with Josh. And
Oh, you actually went to that?
Yeah. Dude, it was right down the road from where I'm living.
Oh, yeah.
So we did that. And the nice thing about like track meets and stuff is they're done in like 30 minutes. So
That's true.
That's a lot better than like a football game or something like that. So we watched Justin run. He ran really fast. I think he got a PR. So that's pretty cool. And then I made Josh some chicken and rice.
Nice.
Yep.
He came to the house.
He came to the house for a little bit. And then we went to school. And then we played Wii with Mitchell. And then Josh took a nap, which is pretty funny.
On our tiny couch.
On our tiny couch.
No, not yours, Joey.
Oh,
Remember? Ex-roommate.
yep. Ex-roommate.
Yep. It
That
used
was-
to be yours.
Yep. Then
I found it on the side of the road our freshman year.
That's true. That was wild. Then we went down to the island, and then we saw Mike for like 20 minutes.
Yep. Because I had rehearsal all afternoon.
And then Mike talked about theater the whole time.
No, because Josh is asking me about
Oh,
theater the whole
yeah,
time.
sure.
Anyways,
That's not important.
who's in the studio today? It's me and Joey, and that's it. So
That's it.
Josh, he's currently driving back to Dort.
Yep.
Mitch is working at DQ. Josh and his family actually went to DQ. I saw on Josh's Be Real. Evan is currently at home. So we got the next best thing.
Yeah.
Josiah Olson.
Woo!
What's up, gangsters?
Now you can talk.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
How does it feel? How does it feel? Are you nervous for your first ever podcast?
You know, I spend my life talking, so honestly, like how much harder can it be to be on a podcast?
Not much, probably.
I feel like that's the best opening mindset we've ever gotten from a guest.
Yeah, we really like to hear good opening mindsets
Yeah.
when we have guests.
I mean,
So
with like two big stars like you just in the room with me, that is a little
please,
intimidating.
Please.
I'm
but
sure.
I feel like it'll be just dandy.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, we've talked about getting you on here for a while. I think we had thought about doing it this past spring, but then we decided to wait till after the summer because you went on a special trip, which we'll get into. Josiah goes to Northwestern with us. He's in our grade, I guess my grade, because Joey's graduating soon.
I am graduating
He's a
soon.
big boy.
I am a big boy.
So tell us about yourself. What are you involved in at Northwestern? What's your major? All the huge.
Lovely. I'm Josiah Olson.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm working here at Northwestern as an ARD in Knutson.
Yeah.
So I'm low key like Micah's boss.
He is my boss.
Not low key.
Okay,
It is.
I'm not. Okay, maybe I am.
He also lives in my hall, so that's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure.
So Micah, in some ways, is like also my boss.
yeah, it's kind of
We're
weird.
like we have a boss relationship.
Yeah.
yeah,
we're just
I'm
boss.
really intimidated though because I feel like I have to follow all the rules because he's in my hall.
Yeah,
That's true.
When's room checks, Micah?
Actually, I'm doing them this week.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I cleaned my room yesterday.
Good.
Yeah,
I saw you return the vacuum,
Yep, I
but I
did.
wasn't there when you did it, so
Well, I did.
I know. I saw it
So-
in my closet. So
Yeah, that's one thing about me. ARD. I guess more details. Like, yeah, I'm a junior at Northwestern, marketing major with a concentration on media production.
yeah.
That's such a good degree.
They just
Yeah, it's
actually added that this past year.
I know.
The
and
media
I'm
production
so glad they
concentration.
did, because before it was like graphic design, communications,
Yeah.
and I was kind of like, which one? They're both kind of, they're interesting, but media production was like right up my alley. I'm like, okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you live by yourself? Do you have your own room?
I do have my own room.
I was walking by and I was like, is Josiah the only, does he have a room all to himself? That's pretty baller.
Yeah.
It's extremely, yeah, just like, I work alone, kind of like Batman. Yeah, just living solo on the edge.
Nice.
Pete Solo.
Pizzola.
Can we?
Oh, Pizzola. Oh,
we got to play that as the outro of this podcast. Do you have like an audio file of that?
don't. We it was really funny actually. The song we performed, which was called Pizzola, it's a parody off of Flying Solo by I don't even know who the author
Isn't it?
artist is.
Who is it? I don't remember. But
Yeah, but me and Gavin, who is otherwise known as Bobulous Jones, we performed it last spring at the Summers Festival, and that was like the funniest song ever.
It was hype.
We had to go into Pizzola's office to pitch it to him before he let us do it.
Really?
it's
he was
Jason
so uptight about
Derulo.
it.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah, but Sola is like uptight about that stuff. So we were like reading through the lyrics. There's one part about like he's like, as long as it's not defaming public safety or my name, I guess it's all right. So
Is that what he sounds like?
I don't know. I can't really remember, but he's famous. So
He is.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a big deal on campus.
He is a big deal.
Yeah.
So you performed that, but you also performed Godly Girlfriend,
It's one of my most famous popular hits.
which I know you have an audio recording of. So can we play that as the outro to this podcast?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Get
that would
ready
actually be
for-
so hype.
When did you make that song?
It was wait, hold up. I broke my wrist in the.
That's
Wait,
not
wait.
what I asked.
This was in the spring of my senior year at high school.
Okay.
I think. But I feel like we recorded the song in like the fall of my senior year. and
Okay.
then made the video that next spring.
Nice.
It was really funny. We played at my graduation party. It was awkward, but
You played it at your graduation
yeah, we
party.
did like the reveal. It was like
Oh,
it was really
Wow.
funny. It premiered. Yeah,
Remember when we were gonna remake that?
yeah, we still could.
We still got time.
I think we should.
I can't this semester, but
Okay, we'll see about next one.
next semester
Yeah,
before 5/16, so we can get it in there.
so I'm telling you that would take the cake for a music video.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
like people will be all over that, John.
yeah, because they would realize it's ironic.
Yeah,
Unlike
it's a parody.
previous music that's been in the 5/16 Film Festival,
But I mean,
unnamed.
like, is it like a joke or is it real?
That's the question.
I don't know.
It's so deep.
But is it even relevant anymore?
Unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. Whoa! Okay, that's gonna be one I'll have to explain later. No, I'm a taken man. I am snatched. So I no longer am relying upon my one hit single to get women. Can't believe I'm talking about this on a podcast.
Well, you brought it up, dog. So
Oh,
now we get
did
to
I
talk
really?
about. Well, do you want to make it like podcast official? Like that's a true step in a relationship.
I think that she would totally love that. I don't know how
Oh.
we're gonna work that in, but like
Okay. So
Yeah.
so who is this girl? Who's this lucky lady?
this godly girlfriend in my life,
Yeah.
dude, it's crazy. Her name is Annika Stone.
No shot.
Sounds familiar.
That name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I think we're on. I think she was a guest, maybe.
Possibly.
No, that could have
Maybe.
been it.
She might be our number 3 most popular listened to
Isn't it
episode.
number 4 now?
It was number 4 for about a week, and now it's back to number
Let's
3.
go.
Oh my
So
goodness.
she must have put it on loop a couple times, and
Maybe she's just popular. I don't know.
or she's
That's
just popular.
That's probably it.
So, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a call from Josh Swanson. I gotta text him.
That's legit.
He borrowed some of my camera gear, so he's got to return it.
You know what we should talk about?
What?
Kind of get warmed up a little bit. We should talk about the cabin. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
something we were all at.
We were all there.
Mm-hmm.
So you do that while I text Josh Swanson.
Oh my goodness. Do you see this, man? This is what I have
see
to
him.
work with. He's just not even at all dedicated. Quick question. I noticed you have notes open. What are those about?
On my notes, I just have some of the craziest like things that happen this summer. Some of them aren't that crazy.
Oh, okay.
It's just like the things that I feel like would be really interesting to like
Okay.
bring up. And I'm hoping like, because not a lot of people go to Israel and India.
That's true.
Like, I hope these things are things you guys will be like interested in or have connections with.
Okay.
Like monkeys.
Oh,
I mean, like, do you see monkeys very often?
No,
No.
I can't say that I have.
Do you go to the zoo ever?
I've been to a zoo. Yes.
Do you remember the monkeys?
No.
Yes.
Don't. Oh my goodness. Mike does apparently.
Oh, that's good. That's a start. Monkeys are funny.
okay. Well,
I like watching them.
you know what? That sounds so cool. I feel like we should just dive right into it.
we're just gonna skip the cabin.
Skip the cabin.
we could get to the cabin.
Okay. We should talk about the cabin.
Okay, we went up to Annika Stone's cabin, grandparents' cabin.
Yeah.
It's a pretty nice cabin. Not pretty nice. It was very nice.
It's baller.
It's a baller cabin. First night we got there, we went in the lake, the boys. It was freezing,
It was very cold.
but we got in the hot tub after.
That helped.
That did help. And then we just kind of chilled and hung out throughout the day.
Yeah, it was a really like nice kind of break.
It was really nice.
Couple days
Relaxation.
away from school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did you do homework up there?
I did a little bit.
I did none.
I did none either.
Thought you were going to.
I was thinking about it, but then the Wi-Fi wasn't great. I was like, perfect, an excuse not to do homework. And it actually worked out fine. But I got to say, we watched 2 banger movies.
We did.
I'm a big fan of the Spider-Man movie. I thought the villain is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very deep, and I like it a lot.
We watched the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse
Wasn't like
2,
Across the Spider-Verse?
Across the Spider-Verse
Yeah.
Part 1,
Yeah.
Part 2 coming next year. Now we watched Knives Out.
My favorite part about that movie is just the art.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
So sick.
detailed and just like adds so much to the movie.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Very unique.
Yep.
But
We also went skiing. We didn't tube at all, did we?
no, it was very cold. But we went skiing. Josiah went skiing for the first time.
Yeah. Walk us through skiing for the very first time. How was that?
Well, I mean, you kind of have to just forget about walking. It's more like standing. But yeah, it's like it's a very awkward thing to start.
Yeah.
You have these big clunky skis on your legs in the water. You have to first like figure out how to like position your body so you're facing the boat, and
Yeah.
then just hold on tight, and you start getting pulled,
Yeah.
and just gotta keep those legs extended. The balance is the hardest part.
Yeah.
I had most of my falls and splashes were on my butt.
Yeah.
Really hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
Really
But-
hurt a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, like when you fall off and you like skid on your butt for like 10 feet. It's
Yeah.
kinda tough.
Because that was your thing is like, usually what happens with most people is like the boat goes and then they like lose grip or they fall right away. You were actually like popping up and then you'd go a little bit and then you would fall. And that hurts a lot more than just like falling right away.
Yeah, I would pull on the, what's it called? Like, I don't know what you grab on. What do you call that?
The handle.
The handle. Yeah. I
Yeah.
would like
The rope.
Oh, yeah.
I would just pull on that. I'd be trying to balance, but I'd use my arms. So I'd yank myself forward, and then I end up like bringing myself too far forward.
Yep.
And then I'd have no slack and just kind of
Splash.
Yeah.
mess it up. Yeah.
Well, you got it eventually.
After like, 5 or 6 tries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually
It
really
wasn't
good.
bad at all.
Yeah.
No.
And I was up for almost like at least 30 or 40 seconds on the last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Falling.
Jeff carrying you around.
Yeah. Besides the water
Jeff.
being like so cold, it was like a perfect day
Yeah.
to go like skiing because there was like nobody else out
Yeah.
on the water. So it was like super flat and it wasn't really windy either. So I actually had a lot of fun doing that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got to drive in 2 old cars that Annika Stone's parents owned.
Grandparents. right?
Grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah, not parents.
That was pretty cool. We should probably post some pictures of those so people.
Yeah,
can see
I'll
'em.
post a picture. One was like old convertible, and then one was like this wooden car.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind it was, but it was sweet.
Can't remember the exact model. But it's like from the 1920s, I think.
Yeah,
It's old, but they've rebuilt it, and it's absolutely sweet.
yeah, it's insane. And then they did another one too. We didn't drive it though, but it was sitting right next to the convertible.
Not sure which one that is.
Yeah, it's in the video I made, but I didn't actually notice it until I saw the video. I didn't notice it in person, but
Wow.
yeah. Shameless plug.
Yeah. Go watch the video. Did you post that on YouTube already?
It's not on YouTube. It's on my Instagram at MikeClark56.
Oh,
Go look at it.
plugging his Instagram.
Except my account's private, so
So you got to follow him first.
that's tough. Anyways,
Enough about the cabin.
enough about the cabin. Let's get to the real meat of this episode. You went 2 places.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
Yeah. This summer, I had the opportunity to go to Israel and India. So I spent 4 weeks in each location in various parts of the countries. Yeah, it was an awesome experience. I mean, I don't know where to start.
Okay, let's start with this. How did you like hear about this experience? Like, was it through a program? Was it through school? How did you hear about it? How did you get the ball rolling with that?
Yeah, it was through an organization, a ministry called Jews for Jesus.
Okay.
And so their goal is to share the gospel with Jewish people, and especially in Israel. You know, that's where Jewish people like live. So
Yeah.
yeah. So the trip was for students around my age, and it just involved getting to spend this 2 months, 1 month in Israel, 1 month in India, doing a mix of just learning, exploring, and also learning how to like share your faith with other people.
That's sick.
Where did you go first?
Israel.
Okay, so walk us through. When did you go, and like what happened? What were some highlights?
Yeah. Beginning of June. So
Okay.
actually perfect time of the summer because it's still nice outside. The sun is bright, the sun is shining, but it's not like insanely hot like in July. So we had some hot days. We were in Tel Aviv most of the time, which is really close to the Mediterranean. I was like 20 minutes walk
Wow.
from the Mediterranean Sea. And I guess that sort of like connects with some of the craziest things is seas. There's like 4 epic seas in Israel. You have the Med, the Dead, the Red, and then the Galilee.
Oh, they couldn't finish the rhymes.
I know, but it sounds kind of cool. Like it could be a rap song. Like
Yeah.
the Med,
Yeah.
the Red, the Dead, the Galilee Sea. I don't know.
Hey,
Oh my goodness.
Bars?
that's your next
Question
song.
mark?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. The seas were awesome. And every sea is a little different. So like the Mediterranean, it's like pretty big. I don't know what you could compare it to here in Minnesota.
Lake Mille Lacs.
No, it's
Yeah, I
way
don't think
bigger.
so.
It's way
Well, I know
bigger
that,
than
but
that.
that's like the biggest thing we got.
Yeah.
But it was sweet. It was really pretty. I think like next up's the Galilee. I mean, that's the sea where a lot of crazy biblical stuff happened.
Yeah.
And what's surprising is it's not actually that big. It's kind of like a lake.
Like,
Can you see the other side?
Yeah. That was my question.
Yeah. It's like low key kind of small. And I don't think people realize how tiny it actually is. So like getting around in the Galilee wouldn't be that bad.
Huh.
But of course, you know, in the scriptures, it's like there's huge storms and stuff. So when you get there, you're like, oh, how does this work? Turns out there's like a lot of valleys and like the wind just channels through. Waves can get up to like 10 feet high on this like little lake.
Ooh, that's no
So-
joke.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Why do they consider it a sea then?
It's got salt water.
Oh, I
think-
guess that's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can really have saltwater. I mean, you could maybe have a saltwater lake. I don't know how it works. I'm not a geologist. It's not a geologist. What are the people that do that stuff?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know. Salt people.
Salt people. Yeah, all
Salty
salty people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salt of the earth. You saw Galilee. What'd you do? Like, did you do anything cool in the seas, or?
Most of the time we just got a little dip in each sea. For the Galilee, we got to swim a little bit. It's a awfully rocky sea. So kind of hurts your toes a little bit to get in. But it's a very pretty environment. You're right across from like the Jordan Mountains.
Is it the Dead Sea that you can float in?
Oh, you can float.
Like in the Dead Sea?
It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah. Like what was that like?
So the Dead Sea is in like the more desert, hot area of Israel. It's like 90 to 100 degrees pretty much all the time.
Yep.
And it's just literally like so much salt in this lake.
Yeah.
The sea, sorry. Yeah, so like you get into the Dead Sea and it feels normal. It's a little slimy because of all the salt.
Does it look like totally murky because of the salt? Like, is that all
Not
you
so
see?
much. When you get in though, there's like all these big chunks of salt.
Really?
Yeah. And so they're not really floating around, but it's like down in the water. And you sort of get in, it starts getting up to your knees, right? And then you get up about like waist high and it starts feeling like a little weird. And then you sort of like relax your body down into it and your legs just like pop up
Wow.
and you're just floating. It's like, I don't know if it's possible to have like a salt bath that salty, but it would be so nice to just have that like personal
Yeah.
Dead Sea.
Personal Dead Sea.
Let's market it. Let's make it a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have
Hi,
to be
sharks.
careful. That salt is potent.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
One, there's several rules they tell you before you get in the Dead Sea. Number 1, don't get it in your eyes.
Yeah,
Number
that hurt.
2, don't use the bathroom an hour before getting in there.
Don't use the bathroom an hour before. Why is that?
You ever got like salt on like a cut or anything?
Oh. Huh.
It's like
Yeah.
that.
But on your butt.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I could see how that hurt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I broke the rules.
How did that go?
How did that feel?
It was awful. I got water in both my eyes.
Oh.
And so I'm like, it's searing pain in my eyeballs.
Yeah.
I'm just stumbling onto the shore. I can't open my eyes because it hurts more to open them than to have them closed. It still hurts a lot.
Yeah.
I was like convinced. I'm going blind. It's over. But I got led by the hand to the fountains, like the water fountains, and just rinsed my eyes out for like 5 minutes.
Wow.
I survived.
Did you
Nice.
swallow any salt water?
Got a little bit on my lips.
Yeah.
It was salty.
Because when I went to Africa in 2016, we swam in the sea and I got a lot of salt water in my mouth and it was awful. Like it just tasted bad
I mean,
because it's salty water.
I feel like getting any water in your mouth, like at a lake, at a sea, anywhere, it's awful. Like, you know, when you're like swimming and all the water goes up your nose,
Yeah.
like that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm saying more the taste.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, I like to drink lake water actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I don't.
I was going to say, there's no way this guy's being serious.
But like, I'm not going to like care if it gets in my mouth or not.
I wonder if there's like a Target market out there that would like buy and drink lake water. Could you sell that?
It's like
I feel like you could not sell that legally.
you can't sell lake water.
No. As drinking water? No, I don't think you could do that.
You could have them sign a contract or like a form.
A waiver?
A waiver. Okay. What other cool things happened?
You know,
Crazy things.
in Israel, I think there were a ton of like really sick, like archaeological locations. So I don't know why, but in Israel, like everything's preserved.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it could be like an ancient town on the Galilee. And they're like, yeah, there was a landslide and it covered up the whole town. And that's why it's still here today. Or you go to one place like Megiddo where Armageddon's going to happen. And there's like 50 layers of different cities.
Oh my word.
And so every single city was like conquered, burnt, and then they poured dirt over it and built a new city. But in the process of doing that, preserved each layer of the city.
That's so cool.
And so you can sort of like see all the individual layers for like, you know, there was people living on this hill mountain for like 4,000 years straight.
Yeah.
And it's like everything's still there.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Wait, so how do they preserve that? Like what did you visually see?
Lots of stones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stones everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Is that what it's like dating Annika?
yeah.
Stones
Dude,
everywhere.
Oh my word.
I only see stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff.
It's a great thing. Love Jeff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Shout out to Remy
Remy. I love
and
Remy.
Nolan.
And Nolan. You can't miss any of them. So you saw stones and that like that's what I still don't quite get it.
Yeah, it's like just a big bunch of stones. People are like, this is history. It's like, wow.
So the stones are like each of the stones are from a certain point in time.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully. I mean,
That's the greatest question ever asked on this podcast.
I mean, I'd hope the stones are real.
I'm trying to visualize this.
They're like ruins, right? They're like ruins.
Yeah. But just a lot of stones on top of stones.
Okay.
Okay.
You can sort of see in certain spots like the layers in like the side of a hill.
Okay.
I don't know what else to tell you. It's just a bunch of stones. Do you want to hear about like more organized, structured stones? Because I saw some of those.
Please, yes,
Yeah.
enlighten us.
All right. So the temple in Jerusalem. Today, actually, the location that would have been the temple, there's now a mosque on top of it. But there's still like old remains of the temple. So we have like the Western Wall, which is where they have all the Herodian like, bricks from first century. And then down below it, they've excavated more. So if you look at pictures of the Western Wall, there's actually like a whole nother section below it of just huge stones. Big, big stones. And those are cool to look at too. I don't know why, but like going to a different country just makes you appreciate things. And I think I left appreciating stones and mountains.
Stones and mountains.
It's so weird, but it's just cool.
Well, so do you look at stones differently here?
No, the stones here are boring.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're kind of, yeah, they're just probably been there. I mean, they've probably been there. Oh my God.
What was that?
They have been there for a long time, but they're just, they're not history.
They don't have character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever look at a rock or
Oh
like
boy, please no.
Hashtag bring back the rock.
yeah, hashtag bring back the rock. You ever like out if you're in Taylor's Falls or something, like some place like that's like big like that, and you see like a little rock, and you think like this rock has been sitting here for like a long time, and then you pick up the rock and you throw it somewhere else. You're like, that rock could have been sitting there for like hundreds of years, and I just moved it.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that is never a thought.
Well,
that is
like
ever
just little
crossed.
tiny like rocks, like pebbles.
I guess I never really thought much about that.
Yeah. You ever think about that?
No,
Okay.
can't really say I have.
You should.
I think I might.
Joey is losing it over here.
I just derailed, but that's all right. You guys can talk about moving rocks from one spot to another.
Dude, I mean, that's how like civilizations were built
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
and destroyed.
So earlier you were talking about monkeys. What was that about?
Well, that's transitioning over to India.
Oh yeah, we
Okay.
can't do that yet.
We can't do that.
Oh, okay, my bad.
What else
No.
did you do in Israel?
Israel had a delicious food.
Okay, can you walk me through what like Israeli? How would I say that? Israeli food is like?
Israeli? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is-
Israeli.
What is their cuisine like?
Their cuisine is bussin' for real.
Really?
They have all sorts of things. They
Okay.
got hamburgers. They got hummus or hummus.
Hummus?
Yeah, hummus. That's what Americans say, but it's hummus. Can you repeat after me? Hummus.
No,
Hummus.
No,
That's
I
pretty
don't
good,
think
actually.
I can.
Yeah. So you can go to a lot of places and get like hummus and pita,
Okay.
and that was sort of like my favorite thing to get.
Really?
Yeah, because they can make some killer hummus. It's nuts.
So what is that made out of?
Chickpeas and tahini.
Okay.
You can get hummus here.
Yeah, I know you can.
Yeah.
What are chickpeas? They're just like
I don't know.
little peas.
I don't really know.
Something
Like
like
I
that.
only have chickpeas when I have hummus,
Oh, okay.
but people really like chickpeas.
My mom puts chickpeas in this one meal we have. We haven't had it in a long time though.
Mm-hmm.
But she also, and hummus. I don't really like hummus that much. I don't know why, but maybe Israeli hummus.
I'm sure
authentic would be
I'm sure
better.
it's got to be so much better.
Yeah.
They put something in it, which might be like sea salt,
It probably
but
is.
it's good.
Just
Yeah.
a big chunk right out of the Dead Sea into your hummus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also burgers. They know how to cook a good burger.
Yeah.
What makes them so good?
Just the meat is something different.
Mm.
I think maybe it's just because it's a different part of the world.
Yeah.
But the meat is bussin',
Bussin'.
and those hamburgers I had there were so just juicy and like so much flavor in
Yeah.
that meat.
I'm sure the animals are probably raised differently there.
Yeah, I mean it's
Than they
like
are here.
it's the Holy Land, so
They're holy burgers.
I mean I don't know if I'd say that, but like
They're
maybe,
holy cows.
Oh, that was funny.
Thank you.
I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So did you have to did you get all these meals provided, or did you have to pay for all this stuff? Like, how did that work?
It was sort of a mix. Some of the stuff was provided for, and some you paid for. And meals are kind of expensive in Israel. They the shekels, the currency is a little high.
So it would cost a lot. If you translated that to English or to dollars, it would cost. That'd be a lot.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably spending like 15 plus on a meal. And they
Okay.
don't give huge portions either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot more exciting stuff you did. Yeah.
No, there is.
Well, what else is on your list?
So one interesting thing about Israel is that everyone smokes.
Really?
Yeah. I
Like
don't know.
cigarettes or like
Cigarettes.
cigars? Okay.
I don't know if it's like a European thing because they're in some ways very European and you have the street signs and everything, but everyone smokes, and so it's very much like part of the culture for people to sit down and smoke a cigarette.
So, does anyone vape, or is it just smoke? It's just cigarettes,
Just cigarettes. Yeah,
and it's
kids, adults.
kids do it.
I saw a couple kids. Yeah, they weren't like young kids, but they were probably high school age.
So it'd be just totally normal for anyone to just whip a cigarette out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do they do it inside?
Not so much. It's
Okay.
more outside thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did that that kind of bother you at first, how everyone was doing it, or like smelling that a lot, or
Yeah, a little bit.
get used to it?
You do get used to it. And like we were in the city, so there's a lot of different smells and it just takes a little bit of adjusting too.
Yeah.
But people there are so nice. Like Israelis are extremely friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really fun to get to connect with people and talk with them.
Yeah.
Just because there was like, so much they wanted to share.
And they didn't speak. Did some of them speak English? Did any of them?
Yeah, like most of them speak English.
Oh, most of them.
Yeah.
did. Okay.
Like I'd say 90%.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you weren't having to learn Israeli,
Well,
or did you learn a little bit?
I did learn some Hebrew.
Hebrew.
And I'd be willing to teach you guys a few words
Okay.
if you'd like.
Okay.
Oh, so much.
So these are some of like my favorite ones to use. So the
Okay.
first is chazak.
What?
Yeah.
Bless you.
Hazak.
Yeah. And can you guess what that means?
Bless you.
Epic.
Oh, epic.
Yeah.
Hazak.
So chazak is like slang for epic.
Hazak.
Yeah. And then like metsuyan.
Metsuyan.
It's excellent. So you eat
Okay.
something that's really good and it'd be like metsuyan.
Okay.
That almost
Yeah.
sounds Italian.
Well, I think I said it kind of like Italian. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
But you also like pointed your fingers up like the
Yeah.
Italian thing.
metsuyan.
Metsuyan.
Yeah. I mean, another one that's fun is achshali.
Actually.
Actually, Maumea. So actually is my brother.
Okay.
Oh.
So it's so much fun to go up to people and be like, actually, Maumea, which means my brother. What did you say? And so this one guy in Israel, his name was is Natanel. He taught that to me. And it was so funny. Every time he would go, actually, Maumea. It was just so funny.
That's
One
what he
of my
sounded
favorite
like.
words. Yeah, he would say it like that.
That's funny.
Yeah. Another great word is toot.
Toot.
Oh, you said this one. I should know what this is.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Toot?
Is it goodbye?
No, it's strawberry.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
you're close.
Yeah, I was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you could be talking about toots and you're talking about strawberries.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to learn a ton, but you learned a little bit.
Yeah. We actually got to take some lessons too. So I could end up like reading Hebrew kind of
Oh,
quickly. I
okay.
didn't know what it meant,
Yeah.
but I could pronounce it.
So the organization you did it through, did you kind of like travel around with them? Were you by yourself, or like did they kind of guide you guys throughout it? Like how did that work?
Yeah, they were with us for the whole journey. So we had like multiple sort of just training sessions where they'd be talking about different things, whether it was like religion or different parts of faith, or having Hebrew lessons. So that was really cool to have like those people sort of pouring into us. And then of course, like on our team, we had staff that were making sure we,
Yeah.
stayed alive,
Yeah.
and got around.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And how many were like in the group that you went with?
It was about 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you know any of these people beforehand or no?
Yeah, I had connections with some of them. I mean, not super extensively, but a couple familiar faces just from the past.
Nice.
Yeah.
And were you able to like how often would you like talk to people about Jesus? Like, is that something that happened like every day, multiple times, or was it only a few people?
We would try to do some sort of outreach weekly,
Okay.
either one or two, and it was a really cool thing because it wasn't like we went out and we were trying to just stuff down people's throats and in their face. It was like we'd go out on the street of Israel in Tel Aviv and just set up a sign and have a question or something like, "What are you grateful for?" And so it wasn't like we were trying to pressure on anyone. It was just like, let's just get out there and do some like fun event in the community and see what people have to say. And it was really interesting because you get to learn about the people and like what they care about, but then at the same time, if they want to talk to you, figure out more about what you're doing there, you sort of have an opportunity to explain, and then it allows you to sow seeds.
Mm-hmm. Plant the seed.
Yeah. And so, because every person's at a different point in like where they're willing to accept the information of Jesus or of the gospel. And so, sometimes it's better to let them ask the questions than to try to like force it on them
Yeah.
and create like a bad impression.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting, but like it did allow, like sometimes it was really cool. We did like one where we did surveys. So we would directly ask people like what they thought about God and Jesus. And that was really cool. to see like what people's perspectives are, and and then also be able to share about our perspectives if they were curious.
Yeah. Because you were around some, you said you were around some biblical historical stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they know about all that? Like how it's history of the Bible and how that's related?
Yeah. I mean, in Israel, like Jewish people, they have the Jewish Bible. They have pretty much what is our Old Testament is part of their religious texts.
Okay.
So, of course, all the different things within the New Testament, they might have known a little bit about if they took like a class on religions, but they don't really look at that and say, okay, well, like this gospel, like Jesus Christ, he is the Messiah that's promised and prophesied in the Old Testament. He's been, Jesus is not really accepted in Judaism today as that Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
So in like they're still waiting for the Messiah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't they expect him to be more of like a political figure rather than like a spiritual leader?
It's very interesting. There's many like spiritual leaders or like rabbis that some groups consider to be the Messiah.
Really?
Yeah. So there's different sects and groups of, people in Judaism, and certain ones believe in different things. And so it's very interesting to see like just how like, even though it's like one religion, there's so many different parts. And I think it's the same even with like Christianity.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Were there any conversations that you thought like went really well where you thought people like became very open to Christianity, or not really?
We had a couple. I think that one was usually like discussing different theological things. I was reading through a book by Tim Keller while I was there, and this guy started talking to me because I was reading it, and we had like a conversation about like questions like, why would God send people to hell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
And
Yay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how could a loving God allow certain things to happen in history or in people's lives? So I feel like those kind of conversations were really good because there's a lot of deep questions people have. And it's fun to talk about it with people and sort of like see how, we find answers or find peace within Christ or within our knowledge of God that they might not see. And yeah, we did have some opportunities to hand out like Hebrew New Testaments to people, which was cool. So some people are like pretty open to that. Like they're willing to read and learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. So like before you start talking about India, because I want to hear about that too, what would you say like the highlight of being in Israel was?
I think it was just the beautiful environment, or like how, well, what's a good way to put it? There's something about the country and just the weather, the location, everything combined just made it a really beautiful and enjoyable place to be in.
Mm-hmm.
It was sunny almost every single day. There were a lot of like beautiful things to see, and just the different art. I really love architecture, and so like just the different ways buildings were built and historical landmarks were. It was really fun to just go pretty much anywhere and see the area.
Yeah. And just all those stones.
So many stones.
So many stones.
I love stones.
Nice. So 4 weeks in Israel, right? And then did you fly right from Israel to India?
Yeah.
So, okay. So why does this organization do stuff in India? Because that seems interesting to me.
Yeah. This is actually something that was really interesting for me too. But India is a huge like tourist location for Israelis.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know how it started, but there's like multiple locations across India that just all Israelis go to.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah. And so it's really funny because, you leave Israel, you're in India. At first you're in New Delhi, which is kind of like the biggest city in India.
Yeah.
And once you get out of there to the other locations, it's like all Israelis.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Never would have guessed. So what did you guys do there? Like, where did you stay? Where were you like stationed?
Well, we first went to this really cool location up in the mountains, in the Himachal Pradesh, which is up north above New Delhi, called Manali.
Manali. What does that mean?
I don't know. Yeah. And we stayed at this place called Little Italy.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Little Italy.
the different like guest houses there, they have really interesting names.
Were they like, was it like Italy or was it just called that?
Just called that. It didn't feel like Italy at all.
Did they send you then, because it's a very touristy attraction for Israelis, did they send you to Israel first kind of on purpose? Or like, was there a connection there?
I think the main reason we went to Israel is for that experience and for that like connection. You know, all of us in the group were part Jewish. So like I'm part Jewish.
Yeah.
And it was sort of that opportunity to just explore that location and also to see the different, you know, places that play into our faith as
Okay.
Believers in Jesus. And then also be connected with the ministry and people there.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. So was India quite a bit different, like being there than Israel, or not really?
It was insanely different.
Okay.
First off, we went there in July and it was during the monsoon season.
Oh, baby.
And I don't know if you've ever been in a monsoon.
I have
I've
not.
It's
Jinx.
wet. It
I bet.
rains and it rains.
And doesn't stop.
It does not stop. Well, it does sometimes, but only for like a day.
So
then
it
starts
rained the
raining
whole
again.
time you were there.
Pretty much.
Really?
That's crazy.
It was, it was nuts. It was raining cats and dogs, but especially dogs.
So is it like today? Like, because it was raining today. Is it like that or harder?
It's weird, but like raindrops are just fatter. They
Even the raindrops are different.
yeah, the raindrops are just bigger, and I don't know how to explain it, but the amount of water that is in this location, in these mountains, is insane.
Yeah.
And the worst was like 4 days straight where it just downpoured, and I actually got sick during that time.
Oh, with what?
I have no idea.
Oh, did it last long? Were you sick for a while?
I was sick for like 3 days straight.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Does that just like make you depressed, like just having it rain that much, or how did that like affect the morale of the group?
It was really tiring.
Yeah.
And it being constantly wet was honestly like pretty tough.
Yeah.
It wasn't too cold or too hot. It was a pretty decent temperature the whole time, like usually in the 70s. But yeah, definitely it was like tough because we didn't get to see the sun that much.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
That'd be hard.
once a week, maybe for like a couple hours, the sun would be out.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Were you able to like see any cool landmarks or anything like that in India? Or
Well, I mean, I'd say just being in the mountains was cool. These little
Yeah.
villages are something you don't really get to experience in the US at all. And so those were like pretty cool to see. But I'd say like the biggest landmark was the Taj Mahal.
oh,
That's a big landmark.
was
Oh,
it
yeah.
was it raining when you guys went there?
No, actually, that was the one day it was sunny. It was
Oh.
fantastic, but it was
That's
so
nice.
hot.
Yeah.
It was so hot because that's down further south of the mountain. So when it's sunny, it's really hot.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
What even is like the Taj Mahal? Like, is it like? It's not like a temple or anything.
It's a tomb.
It's a tomb.
It's a tomb.
For
Yeah.
who?
Okay, I don't remember the exact names of the guy who built it, but it was some king like 400 years ago.
Really?
And he built this for his wife. Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
her tomb.
Yeah. He must have really loved her.
yeah.
Yeah.
That seems rather extravagant.
Yeah. I mean, we were told that, they had over like 20,000 laborers
Jeez.
working for like, it was a lot. I don't remember how long they worked on it, but it was a long time. And this one, it's not even like the biggest place you'd ever see, but it is intricate.
Yeah.
Like there's so much detail in it and everything's symmetrical.
Okay.
Even the surrounding buildings and like the gardens are symmetrical.
Really?
Yeah. It was a really beautiful place to see.
Took 22 years. More than 20,000 workers were employed to complete the Taj Mahal from 1638 to 1643-ish.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy. Was that like the highlight of the trip? Was seeing that?
I mean, it was definitely an awesome experience. Of course, like the 1 or 2 hours we got to spend looking at the Taj Mahal was sandwiched by 5 to 6 hours of traveling
Yeah.
in a tiny little van without any AC
Oh.
on a sunny hot day
Yeah.
and having to like get through all like the scammers and like people trying to take advantage of you there.
Oh, really? Because is it a pretty big tourist attraction? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not like it's India's biggest tourist attraction. They make so much revenue off of just the Taj Mahal.
I'm sure.
Insane.
Yeah.
So that you said there's a lot of scammers, like people trying to like sell things to you or pickpocket you, or
there are pickpockets, especially in the cities. The main thing is like people just sort of trying to take advantage of you because you're clearly American or not from India.
Yeah.
Things in India are pretty cheap. That's just how the economy works.
Yeah.
But sometimes, taxi drivers will give you an absurd price. And it's very much a culture of like having to bargain. So you do have to be careful about like, knowing how much they're trying to take from you and you can't let yourself be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, it's kind of fun. Like people will be like shouting at you, trying to like motion you over, and you can just say, no, no. That was kind of our thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just stopped.
Yeah. You just say no enough. One time I was walking down the street and it was in New Delhi. I had just gone to like this super busy market and bought this fake North Face backpack from some guy for like $5
Nice.
because my other backpack got super moldy up in the mountains.
Oh,
'cause it was
so
always
wet.
Yeah. And so it was just, I had it like leaning against my like bed where I was staying for like a couple weeks, and it's time to pack up and leave. And I pull the backpack up and I just realized the back is just covered in mold.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I had some clothes and hats too that got ruined as well.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Wait, is that what happened to the Coke hoodie? The Coca-Cola hoodie?
No, I still have that.
Oh, I thought you said it like got all like dirty.
No,
and
it's some of my like other things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I was walking down the street, right? And, there's all the taxi drivers, saying taxi, and shouting at you. And no. This one guy, he sort of like comes up to me. He's like, Michael? You're Michael, right? And so I say no. And this guy followed me for like 30 seconds straight, just trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
I just kept like ignoring him, saying no. Like that's the level of like what people will do. They'll just.
So he was trying to scam you. He wasn't.
Oh, I don't know if he was trying to scam me, but he was definitely trying to get my attention.
Yeah.
Calling me Michael, I don't know. It's kind of sus.
Yeah. Were you, how was doing ministry over there? Were you able to talk to a lot of people?
Yeah, it was really cool because a lot of Israelis going out to these places in the mountains, or even the Indians just coming from different locations in the country, traveling. They're usually going to the mountains just to chill and relax.
Yeah.
And so we could just kind of hang out, play cards, read books, do whatever. And it was really like a fun way to get to connect with people and do ministry. So like one guy I got to talk to for a couple hours just because we started playing chess with each other.
Oh, nice.
And so that's
Did you beat him?
I did beat him.
Oh, nice.
He was actually way better than me though. He beat me like twice and then I finally beat him.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that was like one cool way. We would go to just cafes and, over time, if you're there for like a week or so, you just sort of like know people.
Yeah.
And, it's like, oh, I know this guy because we played cards in a cafe yesterday.
Yep.
And you can sort of just like keep talking to people because they're so friendly and they just want to like get to know you.
Yeah.
You like see him around, like.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so that's honestly kind of fun. So then like one guy, we kind of became buddies and was like, hey, let's go to this workshop together. And we went to like a woodworking workshop and I made a spork.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you still have it?
I do actually.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Very useful. Okay, so we should probably wrap it up pretty quick. But overall, like, okay, first question. Like, do you feel like coming back to America, like your perspective is different on a lot of things?
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of cultural differences.
Yeah.
And like in Israel, it's definitely like kind of feels more laid back.
Okay.
Like it's definitely the living there is a little harsher. The economy is not that great. It's just a little tougher for people living there to survive. But at the same time, people there really just take the time to enjoy life.
Yeah.
And they're not too overly concerned about the future. And so it was kind of cool to see people that were just enjoying what they had and not being, wanting more. It was kind of just like, well, I'm happy with what I've got. And, I know what I want to do and I'll just do whatever I want and have a good time. And it felt like every time you went out, it felt like it was just a vacation.
Yeah.
People were just living life.
Did you kind of bring that mindset with you back home, or?
I think to some degree. I think it's easy, like especially in college, to really just be concerned about the future and, thinking like I have to know everything and I have to like plan my whole life and everything has to go perfectly. But really like, you just got to sometimes step back and really just like look at everything you have around you and enjoy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going back, but we got to talk about it because we almost forgot. We got to talk about the monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, India had a lot of different monkeys. It was
Like
pretty
like
cool.
around where you were like staying, or just like
In the mountains.
Okay.
There were quite a few more. They were also in the cities too.
really?
You'd see them in the cities, like climbing up on top of some structure with like a piece of clothing in their hand. You're kind of like, where'd they get that from? In the mountains, they'd be like in the trees. They'd be in the trash heaps too.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. But it was honestly kind of fun. And like, you know, people in our group would take pictures of the different monkeys we saw.
Yeah.
And then we'd be like, yo, check out the monkey I saw today. It's like, oh, I didn't see that one. You know, I haven't seen that one yet. It was like you almost had a checklist.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like,
It's
I
like-
want to see
it's
all
like
the different
bingo.
monkeys.
Bingo. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was like just a cool thing. Monkeys and the stray dogs.
Really? Like in India?
Yeah, there's so many dogs in India. Shout out to Alfredo. He was this little puppy that we all on the team wanted to like just kidnap. But he was a really cute dog. And so like, but there was just strays in the streets. It's kind of like the norm there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
What's besides the stones? What's something that you took for granted? Like they when you were there, you're like, man, I really like wish I had this from back home or something like that.
I think that one thing is tap water. In India, you can't drink the tap water.
Really?
It's not safe.
Yeah, you
So-
can get a lot of things from it.
So what did you guys have to do for drinking water?
Just bottled water.
Oh, okay. You just
But-
have to buy it.
Yeah, especially like during the monsoon. We actually when it was at its peak, we lost running water. We lost electricity and also phone service. And this is all while I was sick too.
Oh.
Yeah. So like drinking water, running water, those are all like amazing things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You kind of forget that, you know, it's really like, I don't know, kind of fancy
Oh,
compared
yeah.
to a lot of other places where they don't really have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so last thing. What was highlight of both? What was the best part of the trip, you think? If you have multiple, you could go multiple.
The best part of the trip was going to this mountain called Masada.
Okay.
And on top of Masada is this old, the remains of like a Jewish fortress
Oh.
that was taken over, you know, when the Romans took over Israel in the first century.
Mm-hmm.
But this one outpost on the top of this mountain, you know, the Romans were having a hard time taking over it because they had a snake path that went up and the armies couldn't really go up there. So they had to build a whole ramp like several kilometers long.
This is crazy because I've learned about this in like history of Christianity, this story. Because right, it's like on this huge mountain and the Romans couldn't get up. And so they built this huge ramp and it's like, it's still there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we got to go up the snake paths and we went up at like 4 a.m. before
Yeah.
the sunrise. That was a really cool experience.
That's so sick. And then you just watch the sunset or sunrise.
Yeah. The sun rose. And then we looked at all the different like remains and I went into this cave that was just there. I wasn't even like really, I think, open to the public. I just went in the cave. It was really like some Indiana Jones kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Josiah. It was so cool to hear about like how you're able to like see the country, see the culture, but also like do ministry and connect with people. That's so awesome. Do you want the honors of like signing us off?
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. What should I say?
Yeah, it's all you.
Can I just come up with anything else? Like
Well-
anything I want to say?
Anything
Anything
you
go-
want to say.
Yeah.
It's open
Goodness.
mic.
Wow.
Maybe you can rap something or sing Godly Girlfriend or
Oh yeah, we gotta play Godly Girlfriend.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to
Or is
do
that just gonna play?
That'll
It'll
just
play.
play.
You,
Okay.
you send it to us. And we'll play it.
Yeah.
All right. I got something.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the 245 podcast. Have an epic baller day.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
Peace out, gangs.
I am so lonely, yeah, I am so lonely. Wish I had a godly girlfriend. Lift up my head. Me and all my homies all get together and pray. Pray for a girl to lighten up our day. But you are the true light, Lord, lighten up my life. You're all I need, but I wouldn't mind having a wife. Could you send me one soon? Until then, I keep praying to the Lord. I am so lonely, I am so lonely. I wish I had a godly girlfriend. I lift up my hands and pray. Haven't even got a girlfriend, but already got a ring. 'Cause you know that God's gonna provide everything. Oh! We could go to Chick-fil-A and hold hands in prayer, and we can hug but leave space in between for air. And it would be my pleasure to pay. And I'd promise her I'd see her again on Sunday. I see you in church and you are so pretty. God blessed you with everything. I need you so much, girl, please, I pray. Lord, send me a godly girlfriend today. Yeah, send me a godly girlfriend. I lift up my hands and pray.
And every time I pray to the Lord, I need you. Oh, that someday I'm gonna meet you. Oh, and if you're hungry, He will feed you. Oh, and if you got needs, He will meet you. Oh, yeah, King Solomon, he had so many wives. But not me, I'm good with the one God provides. Sing it with me now. Yeah, King Solomon, he had so many wives. But not me, I'm good with the one God provides. A godly woman, yeah, who can find? Only He who is truly divine.
Me and all my homies all get together and pray. Pray for a girl to lighten up our day.